Jay here for Stretford, Paddock, and this is the live press conference reaction. The reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, which is just taking place this morning ahead of tomorrow's trip to Newcastle. Joining me is Casey Evans. Casey, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Jay. That was a very big introduction, yeah. Well, it's the press conference.
Big introduction for a big game, a mouth-watering clash. Someone say, I know it's a bit melodramatic, but people are already looking at it, it's almost must win.
Must win. Yeah. I mean, it's after the international break. Everyone's excited to get back to, the football they actually care about. So, yeah, we'll get back into the press conference.
Yeah.
We have people in the comments like, England matters. We played a Nations League qualifiers.
We're not here to talk about England. No one wants to talk about that. So, first of all, obviously, a lot of the talk centred around Bruno. So, you may have seen from the thumbnail, Bruno... There was quotes, well, not quotes. There was reports that Bruno and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had this bit of a rift, that Bruno wasn't happy following the Spurs game, which you'd fully expect. At half-time, apparently he'd kicked off and had a dig at Ole. He then came out, Bruno, and sort of said that this was nonsense. He said that, people are just trying to use his name to cause trouble sort of thing. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spoke about that in a full quote. I'll give you the full quote. He was asked about how the players he's spoken to have reacted and things like that to the Spurs loss. We don't need to go into the Spurs loss. I'm sure you're all aware of what the score was there. You remember that one, don't you?
Yeah.
He said, we've been in touch with the ones that have been away for internationals, and it's one of those things you have to get over as soon as you can. We know any little chance from outside wants to create division. Bruno spoke well the other day. We are united and have to stay together. We can't listen to everyone outside. Got to get on with it. Bruno has lost 2 league games and came in February. It's just been 2 in quick succession. He's not used to losing league games, but welcome to Manchester United. This is what happens. Going to try and create division between us, but it's not going to happen. This is a group that wants to work together and stick together. So, Ole putting on a United front on the back of what Bruno says. Do you think that's true? Do you think there is a bit of a rift there, or do you think that sort of puts that to bed? Because to me, it seems like both Bruno and Ole are saying the right things.
I think it's put it to bed. I feel like there's a bit, I think it's one of those half and half things where I think that Bruno probably did kick off in the dressing room, but in the sense of how anyone would kick off if they were losing 4-1 at half time. Like the sort of thing, if it's like, it's just basically like, get your heads together, lads, and started yelling at some people, which is fair enough. Like, you want to see that from a player because it shows they actually care. But I don't think it's as far as everyone's like, oh, he's falling out, he doesn't want to play for him and all that sort of thing. And I'm glad that Fernandes has come out and said, just shut up, basically. Just stop talking about me and the players because it's obviously you're wrong, and I think you're wrong. So.
I know, it's Duncan Castles who ran with it. I don't know him, but I've interviewed Duncan Castles before, and he's quite a controversial figure on social. And he did it on his podcast. He said that there was Bruno kicks off, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think there's and you want your manager and your players to at least put on a united front. Guys, do get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think. Do you? Is that the end of that matter? Are you happy with what Bruno said? Are you happy with what Ole said when being asked about it? The other sort of hot topic, if you will, was Harry Maguire. I mean, we know, like the rest of his teammates, he had a bit of a stinker against Spurs. Didn't have a great time for England as well. Ended up getting sent off. Ole was asked about that, asked about Maguire in general, and he said, football is very, very, you're in the headlights all the time, and when Harry is part of the England team, which beats #1 ranked Belgium, in a normal day, and you get the headlines when you get a sending off. That's just football. So many ups and downs. Have to deal with it. Harry's got great resilience, knows he'll bounce back, wants to play and work his way out of the last couple of games. He's been criticised. He picked up a knock before he came off. We'll have a look at him today. So there could be an injury there to Harry Maguire, which, am I allowed to say this? Could almost do everyone a bit of a favour.
Are you allowed to say that, Jay? That's the question. No,
do you know what I mean? I wouldn't wish an injury on a young player. I'm not completely lost my mind.
He's not like
but that sort of answers this question of, do you drop him? Well, if he's injured, he wouldn't play anyway. And then you've not had to address that. He's not been dropped.
Yeah. If you can hear us, Marcus Rojo, Jay's not saying go and break someone's leg in training.
Yeah, God, he does that anyway.
But I think it sort of does a favour because it takes you out of the spotlight for a bit. And if Man United, God forbid, don't win against Newcastle and he's not playing, people can't go, it's Maguire's fault again. Yeah. So that's fair enough. I feel like we're looking at it now after an international break. And international breaks are, after a loss, can go one or two ways. It's sort of like you're happy that it's happened because it's kind of, we've lost 2 in a row and now we can, for want of a phrase that's been used quite recently, circuit breaker. in the sort
So topical. He's such a topical guy, anyway.
I just throw that one in. But I mean, like, in the sense of everyone can get the head straight, go off and play internationals, come back, and we can be like, now we win again, sort of thing. Or it can be like, well, we want to bounce back straight away. Why did we have to go and spend 2 weeks gallivanting around Europe, going to the back ends of like Kazakhstan to go play some friendlies? But
Kazakhstan. Sorry, that was a terrible Borat impression. Just in the comments, Rohan,
very topical since
Rohan Sheehy says very happy even. Ole has come out fighting in his presser today. There's what the criticisms often levelled at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is that he looks like a defeatist or a man who's just broken at times. He doesn't have that edge to him as a manager. We saw it as a player, but do you get that impression today? Did you get that impression that he came out fighting? I mean, I think he handled, he came out pretty normal. I don't know if he came out fighting. I get where he's coming from.
I feel like that opinion comes from the fact that he always seems very passive. He doesn't want to kind of antagonise anyone. He doesn't antagonise the other managers. He don't want to antagonise players. He don't want to antagonise like anyone. So it's like, in the sense of today, he's been like, right, your journalists were wrong. Shut up. Bruno said it. I've said it. Maguire's had problems. Stop having a go at him. It's like he's been like, okay, just stop having a go at my players and have a go at me, please.
He's a little bit more diplomatic. I think sometimes it's difficult because if you came out like Jose used to, and just start firing shots and respect me and all this, sometimes you come across as though you're a bit.
I mean,
unhinged.
it's picking your targets to the journalists there. It's like, oh yeah, I hate Martial's not been playing well and Shaw's fat. Okay, those two players now don't like Jose. I think it's a pretty obvious statement.
You could do what Van Gaal did. Was it Van Gaal when he was a Custis? He said, let's have a contest or something. I can't remember. Was it about his weight? I can't remember. I'm going down a rabbit hole. I don't want to get into.
I think he referred to him as a fat man. That was
which I'm not here to fat shame, so I'm just pointing out what was said. Pogba. Shock horror. There's some questions about Paul Labille Pogba. Who'd have thunk that one?
It's a checklist, isn't it? It's like Fernandes made some comments. Let's go through that. Then Maguire.
To be fair, I've been in press conferences. And you have to ask these questions, so it's not like we're not having a dig there. I get it. Pogba obviously spoke about how his dream was to play for Real Madrid, which is just what you want to hear when you've been beaten 6-1. Your star midfielder saying that, but let's not go. Let's not get into that one.
And then realising, oh wait. I don't play. Oh, okay. United are my team.
Because to be fair, he did sort of say, he was here for the United cause and all that. So I'm not having to go at Paul Pogba before anyone loses their minds. But Ollie was asked about it and he said, Paul's our player. He's going to be here for another 2 years. And sure, he's focused on doing his best for us. And we want to see the best for Paul. In the next couple of years, I'm sure we'll get the best out of him. I mean, again, pretty par for the course there, innit? What would you mean? What else could he say?
That's quite an awkward comment to make, seeing as that the max he has left on his contract is 2 years, and he's basically just saying he's got 2 years.
Yeah,
it's like, because the thing was, there was all the start of the window, or when we were signing these, we're still signing Sancho and all that sort of stuff was going on. They were saying, "Oh, Pogba's probably going to sign a new contract," and his agent came out, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he's really thinking about signing a new contract." And now Solskjaer's just come out and said, oh, "We've got him for 2 years," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Well, if he doesn't sign a new contract, we've got him for 1, I'd hope, because I wouldn't want to see Paul Pogba going a free to whoever so he chooses, because it might not be Real Madrid then, and that'll be worrying.
Rami Prince Navarathnam, forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. Excellent man management from Ole. Enjoyed the Pogba comments, also made by Ole. Basically, he is selling him. That's a bit of a leap there, to be honest with you, Rami. I don't know if that's quite obvious from what Ollie was saying. I certainly didn't look at it like that.
That's reading between the lines.
Yeah, that is reading. He's obviously going. Imnar says the media is trying to make a rift between Ollie and Bruno so that they could throw away Ollie from our club like the way they did with Mourinho and Pogba, and what was the outcome. I mean, there's always going to be that element in there when you're a Manchester United manager and you've had a bad result and there's going to be sort of leaks or people saying that the players aren't happy or there's this rift. And I think Ollie sort of handled it in the best way he can. You come out, you show United front. It's good that he's got players on board as well.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it in the past, haven't we, where players, I mean, remember we talk about Pogba with Mourinho. Pogba said a couple of things like, if I speak, I'll get fined. He questioned the tactics against Southampton when we drew at home and lost the vice captaincy because of that. So you want the players, at least publicly, to be sort of singing from the same song sheet, don't you?
I think the thing with Mourinho is that what happens is he antagonises a lot of players with how he is, and it's in the sense of there's some players who can just it's a manager's telling me what to do and sort of thing, and then there's other players who obviously I understand that he's trying to get the best out of me, but at the same time he has no reason to out me in public like that sort of thing, or have a go at me. And I feel like when Mourinho starts losing, that's when people are like, well, I can now make comments because he's not getting the results anymore.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Solskjaer, it seems to be that a lot of players, even now when he's just lost 6-1 to Spurs, a lot of players are like, oh, no, don't have a go at Ollie. It was our fault. We didn't play for him. So, like, we didn't play as well. So,
on Project Big Picture, I'm sure you've heard of this, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where we teamed up with the Scousers, apparently, to try and take over the league, and then the rest of the league went, no, we're not having that. No.
Except for the rest of the football league went, yeah, we'll have that.
Yeah, well, the EFL, like, what, 250 million quid? And if you don't know what it is, basically, United and Liverpool got together, came up with this plan where the big six, as you want to call them, would have more of a say than the rest of the clubs.
It was like
the league would go down from 20 to 18, and then the English Football League teams would all get a big payout of like 250 million quid, I think, because obviously a lot of them are struggling in the wake of the pandemic and no fans in the ground and all that sort of stuff. Sorry, go on.
So it was like a nice financial payout, but we also gave all the power to 6 teams, which is kind of a bit wrong.
Anyway, our mate James Cooper, who we had on the Tier 1 podcast the other day, he asked about this, I think. Ollie said, it's definite that we, as one of the bigger clubs, we have a responsibility to protect the football pyramid and smaller clubs. We have seen lately the effects the pandemic has had. The fans, the key thing is we want fans back in stadium, which will help other clubs. Just glad talks have started, and let's make the powers that be decide how we're going to do that. I mean, you know, as a match-going fan, I can't wait to get back in the ground. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, especially when you look at some of the...
That's a bit of a weird comment. I feel like he's kind of dodged the question a bit because I feel like, one, he probably doesn't know a lot about it, and two, he's like, I don't want to say anything because these are the owners trying to do something, so that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be a bit careful there. On the signings, deadline day signings, he was asked about them. You all right, mate? You look a bit worried. You all right? I was panicking me then. You look like shots then. All right, was everything okay? Good. Deadline day signings, we're looking forward to integrating them into the group. Facundo, how do you say it?
Facundo Pellistri.
He's such a boffin. Facundo Pellistri. So Facundo Pellistri, can I say it like that?
If you want to.
Yeah, thank you. That's how we say it in Salford. Has been in training 2 days. Very exciting. Young, enthusiastic player with some attributes we don't have. Possibly winning football matches. Maybe one for the future, not just now. Still only 18. Alex Tellez came in yesterday and did his recovery after a long flight from Sao Paulo. Edinson has still not been with the group because of quarantine. All three have got something different to what we have and will come in and help us. The group are looking forward to having them join in. I mean, it's so annoying for me that Cavani can't play. Why did we not buy him a week earlier?
It's almost like we should have bought him a week.
Yeah, he was sat there waiting to be bought from someone. A free agent, we needed him. Oh, okay, you can argue, but we didn't know that Martial was going to get suspended. Yeah. But still, just get him in early.
He was practicing ballet, whatever he was doing.
Yeah, why would you not have got him in time so that you had that option for the Newcastle game? It's just so stupid.
It's all right, we've got a Gallo.
Heaven's Soul said the attribute is he can cut the ball into the box. John Wiestrom says, going back to Paul Pogba, Pogba is a Disney player, colourful, great technique, mind-blowing, but he's never going to carry any team. I mean, I don't think we've seen the best of Paul Pogba this season at all. And regardless of where you sit, we need Paul Pogba to get back to his best because he made a difference when he came back from his injury last season. And this season, I know he had COVID and he doesn't look himself. He looked better. I saw some highlights of France. He came off the bench?
He came on for like 10 minutes and then he cut through the entire defence with one pass.
I mean... Yeah, that's exactly what we need.
But then again, it's like sometimes I always say that with Paul Pogba is like he has that ability, but then when you ever see anyone make a run that he can do that from, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I'll come and get the ball off you from 2 yards away." And he's like, "Just run. He can get it to you. Just run."
This is what I mean. It's not like we've got a shortage of quick strikers or quick attackers.
We've now just signed Facundo Pellistri, who's a quick, enthusiastic winner. One for the future, but we said that about Dan James. So. Harsh. No, Casey Evans. That's not me saying harsh. I'm saying we said Dan James was one for the future and he ended up playing 30-odd games.
Yeah, right.
So in sense of...
I thought you meant like Dan James is not one for the future because he's not good enough.
In the sense of, we said he was one for the future and then he played 30-odd games. So basically, if we say, but this is one for the future...
Maybe we can do what we did with Dan James. Maybe we can play him. He can score a goal. We can think he's the best thing since sliced bread and then we can all turn on him when he's had...
And then play him on the other wing.
Yeah, play him on their own wing. You never know. It's the United way. Talking about the Newcastle result last season, and everyone doesn't remember that. Longstaff came out of
a third
retirement.
A third Longstaff brother's going to turn up.
They seem to wheel this kid out every time we play United.
It wasn't even him. It was Matty Longstaff.
I didn't even know this kid existed until he scored
Sean
against
Longstaff
us.
battered us the first time, then Matty Longstaff battered us the second time.
I mean, yeah, the Longstaff brothers.
There's a third, as I said, there's going to be a third one that no one's ever heard of. It's like 15 years old, and he's going to play, and he's going to score like an overhead kick against.
Love playing against United. Anyway, we lost 1-0. He scored, if you remember, at St James's. And since that game, Ollie's been talking about it today. He said it was a disappointing game last year. That's a massive understatement. We should have won it, but then Longstaff, the one that he's on about, scored, and we didn't have a response. I think we have come quite a bit since then. We have done well getting to third last season, but now it's about getting the 3 points because we have started badly. Brucey and Newcastle have started well, and it has looked positive for them. We need to go there and dominate. I mean, results one thing, but we need a performance, don't we?
Yeah, that's 100% the thing. Like, we need to batter them.
Because we haven't had a performance this season
No.
in the league. Because even the Brighton game, I don't think even the most ardent Manchester United fan or deluded Manchester United fan will claim that that was a great performance by United.
It
wasn't.
It's a great footballing highlight, and the sort of thing of like every United fan would have gone mental at the ground, but then afterwards they would come away with like, how did we win that? Like, how did we do that? We didn't deserve to win.
Well, I've never seen anyone get a penalty after full time before,
Exactly.
so that was a new record.
But yeah, the thing is that I think Newcastle have improved. They've obviously now got a striker who can score goals in Callum Wilson. They've now got Fraser, who's very good at getting the ball to Callum Wilson, and they have Alan Saint-Maximin, who I swear to God is going to nutmeg two of our players, and we're going to see that highlight for the next 3 months.
You heard it here first. Getting involved in the comments. Oh, Ronaldo says Jay hooded up, ready for a glide.
Yeah, me and you look like we're about to go walk a dog after this.
Or,
you've got the hoodie on, I've got the fleas.
Burgling, perhaps.
Burgling.
Aye. Go twacking, as we used to say in my day. I'm only joking. We're not going to do any criminal activity. Someone says, John Wisdom says, Pogba suffers still from COVID, ? Only 15 minutes with France. The guy says, Pogba's like Rooney, can never carry the team on his back alone. Wayne always struggled with England because of that, in my opinion. I mean, England's record goal scorer, isn't he?
Yeah,
I get where you're coming from, sort of, but
I feel like
guy scored 50-odd goals for
also,
England. It's slightly harsh.
He could never carry England because at his peak he got injured.
He did. 2006, he got injured, didn't he,
Yeah.
with the old metatarsal, I think it was. 2010, he wasn't fit. He came back from injury, wasn't fit. So you're right. 2004 in the Euros, he got injured during those Euros. If he hadn't got injured, we'd have won those Euros, and he would have been a national treasure.
And he got sent off by Ronaldo in one of them. So, yeah.
Yes, he would have. Guys, do get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think about not just Paul Pogba, but also about the Newcastle game, about what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said, about Maguire. Do you think, regardless of whether he's injured or not, if he is fit, does he start? Do you think Maguire starts if he is fit? They say they're going to give him a sort of a fitness test today. Do you think that could be a tough decision for Ole if he is fit?
It would be the easy way out for Solskjaer not to play him, because I feel like if you don't play him, no matter what, even if he was like, oh, he's broken his leg, they'd be like, but has he broken his leg, or are you dropping him for footballing reasons? It's like, no, he's injured. Like, I don't think you can just drop him for no reason. I don't think you can do that to him, because then it's like, oh, we need to support Maguire, but now he's on the bench, sort of thing. I wouldn't play him. Like, the thing with Maguire is what I find is a problem, and I feel like he just needs to understand this, is that I feel like he can play a ball really well from the back, but for some reason he steps way too far out to do that, and he leaves everyone in like risk, because like no one has a clue where to position. Wan-Bissaka's halfway up the pitch, Shaw can't run back, Bailly's just there, just like, which one do I tackle now? Everyone's just in complete disorder, and that back line just needs someone just to be like, right, this is the line. We don't step 2 feet too far that way or 2 feet that way without everyone else going. And it's a mess. I mean, like, this is the thing. Like, you can just see it happening to Newcastle, that back line just messing up and just being like, here's a massive gap for them.
I don't know why I'm smiling at these things you say, because I think you're right, and I don't know, it's not amusing in the slightest. It's actually,
it's
I think if I didn't smile, I'd end up crying.
It's gallows humour.
Gallows humour, I like that. Yeah, nicely
just
done.
laughing in your head like, oh yeah, that's going to definitely happen.
You'll see on the watch along, none of us will be laughing. Guys, do like the video as well. Hit that like button, give us some likes, get involved in the comments as well. And if you're not subscribing, why not? Get subscribing. I'm just going to get involved in the comments as well. Someone's saying to give Matter a chance, put Matter on the right. Greenwood to play centre forward this weekend. I mean, it does look like that, doesn't it? It's going to, what is it, Greenwood, Marcus, Igalo? Yeah. Do you trust Igalo in the Premier League for a start anymore?
I mean, there was talk about Fernandes having to isolate, but I don't know if that's...
No. I don't think that's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, You could have Danny van der Beek out at the right if you're going to play a bit more of a diamond. You could have Rashford and Greenwood up top together. You could play that weird 3 at the back he sometimes likes to play when he has 2.
I think 3 at the back might be the way forward. I don't know. What do you, I mean, because is that? I mean, I know you're not going to build your team around Alex Telles, but would that not suit him as a wing back? Do you reckon?
I mean, if Alex Telles as a wing back, like to the ground, because then Shaw could fill in next to him. It's 3 at the back is such a great formation for sorting yourself out when you have defensive frailties, and it's why Conte always runs with it, because it's like the Conte's quote when he used to say, "I'm a tailor, I work with what I have." What he meant was, I play it 3 at the back because all my defenders are rubbish.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Ollie could come out and say that, and I don't think many people would be.
I mean, that's the thing. Like Chris Smalling looked so good because he didn't have to position well, because he could just sit there in Van Gaal's and just clear up because he's very good at reading the game. It's just like you look at the sort of teams that have done well at 3 at the back. There's always a defender in there. You're like, wait, is he good now? Like,
yeah, I mean, some people saying Axel Tuanzebe. I'm not sure what the full script is, but so I'd like to see Axel back in the team. I'm not giving up on him yet. Aaron Shearer says, I like Maguire, but why is he such a big problem? Any other player as bad as he has in recent games would be dropped. Has everyone forgotten how we treated Big Dave last year? I mean, I think the thing with Maguire is you got to remember, like, people say, oh, price tag doesn't matter. Well, it does. I think if you paid 80 million quid for a defender and made him your captain, and then you drop him, 2 games into the season or whatever, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look great for you as well as a manager if you're doing things like that, because then, especially when the transfer window was open, because you're still trying to convince the board to sanction more signings.
You look at the let me put it this way. Look at it from the manager's perspective. You have Maguire, who's currently your captain and your most expensive defender. You drop him, who does play in his position? Lindelof, who's been in the same defence and everyone else has been criticising as much. Eric Bailly, who you were saying, could play next to him, but then would also still have to play next to Lindelof. Or then you have to go down to improving youngsters or Phil Jones. Or Marcus Rojo, actually. So then, yeah.
Is Marcus Rojo still a thing? I thought it was, I don't know, I thought it was,
honestly,
forgot about him
my
almost.
mum went the other day when Marcus Rojo still plays for us, why don't we give him a left back? And I was like, have you ever seen him try to tackle? There was like 3 games in a row the last time he had a run in the team where I thought he should have been sent off every single game because he's just 2-footed people.
I can't believe Anthony Martial's had a red card before Marcus Rojo was for Manchester United. That is just absolutely the craziest thing I've ever seen as a United fan in my life. Just after looking at comments, Ollie has said that Maguire had a knock for England. Maybe he's setting the excuse to just let the man have a date. That's not, maybe he's a bit of the dark arts there. He's got a knock, so it sort of ends that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
maybe.
The thing is even if you said he had a knock and didn't play, and people would be saying, but did he really have a knock? Like I said,
someone's already saying it. It's in the comments, yeah.
It's like someone saying before, it's like I said, if he said he broke his leg, I think people would still be like, but has he really?
Has he really? To be honest, I mean, it would almost make perfect sense if he did have a knock, because then it could say, well, he didn't have a great game for England because he was carrying this injury. And then he's still got it, and then he's not going.
The only problem with that is then if we keep a clean sheet against Newcastle, that always sets you up badly to bring Maguire back in, and they'd be like, "Oh no, I can't now bring Maguire back in because we actually managed to defend an attacker for once."
Leave Comedy says this season is just a realization that all of our players are pants. Lol. No Marcus Rojo says, and he's Josh. It reminds me of the games against Liverpool where we could have won easily.
Wasn't Marcus Rojo playing left back then though?
It'd be interesting to see if Cavani starts, though. No, someone's saying he won't start. He's quarantined. Ollie's addressed that. He said that, obviously, because United are infinite wisdom, we decided not to sign him.
How long till he calls
because,
him Eddie?
Unfortunately, he's quarantined, so we can't play him.
How long till he calls him Eddie? Because he calls it Edison there. It's like, how long till he brings him down? Like, he always says Rashi and stuff like that. How long till it's Eddie Cavani?
He loves his nicknames, doesn't it? So if you are just joining us, just a quick recap before we wrap up. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I've been talking ahead of the Newcastle game tomorrow night. He's been saying about...
Pay-per-view, if you're watching it on Sky.
He's been saying about Bruno. He said that Bruno's lost 2 games since he came in February. Hello, Stephen. Yeah, mate. It's just been in 2 in quick succession. So yeah, I mean that's one way of looking at it. He's lost 2 since February. The bad thing is it's 2 out of the first 3 league games this season. But basically there's no division there between him and Bruno. On Maguire, he said that he's got great resilience, and he'll bounce back. But also that he's picked up a knock, so they're gonna have a look at him today. On Paul Pogba, Paul's our player. He's gonna be here for the next 2 years. In the next couple of years, I'm sure we'll get the best out of him. And then on the deadline day signings as well, he talks about Alex Telles has come in yesterday after a long flight from Sao Paulo. Edison, obviously, as I just mentioned, still not available because of quarantine. and also the young lad, what's his name?
Facundo Pastry.
Thank you. Has been in training 2 days, very exciting, young enthusiastic player with some attributes we don't have. And just talking about the response, how we need a response against Newcastle, he said, we need a response as we always do after we lose a game. You want to win the next one, want to try and dominate the game. The result is very important, but want to see positive body language and mindset. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer pretty much saying most of the things you'd expect him to say there, keeping it positive, showing a bit of unity, showing we're Man United and we're ready to bounce back, and also sticking up for his players.
Just before we go, Jay, and I just mentioned it then, what do you think of some of the matches going to pay-per-view? Because obviously tomorrow is going to be one of the first pay-per-view matches, which is United versus Newcastle. They've moved it to 8 o'clock so they can make it into a separate thing that you fans have to pay 15 quid for. So what do you think of that?
I mean, I just think it's a bit much. Paying all this, you pay for so much, and you're paying for your subscriptions to stuff, and then you got to pay-per-view as well. As you may have noticed, we're in the middle of the pandemic. Times are hard. People are struggling for dough, and I think making them pay extra, and then or even encouraging everyone to pile around each other's houses if you all want to chip in is just a terrible idea, personally. And I know some clubs are struggling, but I don't think they're struggling that much in the Premier League that we need pay-per-view. I mean, to keep us going.
Yeah, the argument the lane was they would say, "Oh, we're going to protect our premium product." Burnley versus West Brom is a pay-per-view match. I could buy a pack of 4 and set the rest of the money on fire and I'd get more entertainment out of watching West Brom versus Burnley. Honestly, it's going to be a painful match. But that's what
Stephen Allison's scowling at me. Well, he's scowling at you off camera there, and I don't blame him after that analogy.
It's not going to be a good match. But the fact is this is what I'm saying. They're trying to protect the premium product. Just don't make us pay £15. Just stick them all still on Sky.
Don't make us pay £15. And Manchester United get 3 points because we need them.
If you can't watch the match, we're doing a watch along. So yeah, you can watch us watch the match.
Well, even if you can watch the match, you can still watch the watch along.
Yeah, watch along.
Whichever way. Also, we've got the preview coming up for the game. We've got Howson and McCullough Uncensored coming up. All that good stuff as well. And then after the game tomorrow, we'll have the fan cams. So you'll have McCullough, you'll have Howson, you'll have all the usual suspects. Joe will be here as well. And also have Friday today, isn't it? So you'll have Joe's Late Night Live as well. Yeah. So do hit like if you've not hit like. Do hit subscribe if you've not hit subscribe. That's been Casey. I've been Jay. This has been Stretford Paddock press conference reaction. Thanks for watching.